From $350 million flying palaces to 17-minute flights that broke the internet to jets that fled a war before it started, this is the billionaire private jet tier list. Donald Trump gold-plated the seatbelt buckles on his private jet. Trump Force One was built in 1991, purchased from Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, and cost a reported $100 million total. The interior runs gold throughout. The reclining controls, the hardware, the silk walls, the family crest on every leather seat, right down to the seatbelt buckles, which are 24-karat gold-plated on a 35-year-old airliner. Someone decided the buckles needed gilding. Trump gets an A tier. Then there is the man who gold-plated an entire Boeing 747. Every surface, the whole cabin, the throne. Saudi prince and founder of Kingdom Holding with a $19 billion net worth, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal bought a commercial 747 in 2003, stripped it to the frame, and had Lufthansa Technik rebuild it from scratch. The interior alone costing an estimated $100 million. At the center of the main lounge sits a custom-built royal armchair trimmed in 24-karat gold, bolted to the floor as if someone genuinely thought that was the natural place to put a throne. There is a 14-seat formal dining table with handcrafted detailing, solid gold-plated sinks, a walk-in shower, 50 VIP passenger seats, a crew of 14, and prayer mats that rotate automatically using GPS to stay facing Mecca at 37,000 feet. He also ordered an Airbus A380 flying palace for an estimated $500 million, with a concert hall, a Turkish hammam, and a Rolls-Royce garage built into the aircraft, then sold the delivery slot before it was even finished. He commissioned a $500 million airplane, apparently got bored somewhere between the hammam and the garage, and handed it off to someone else before they could deliver it. The 747 later transported Neymar from Paris to Riyadh in 2023. The gold throne has had Neymar in it. Whether that raises or lowers the resale value is a matter of personal taste. S tier. This is what the word palace actually means. There is a spray tan ban written into the passenger rules. Outdoor shoes are also prohibited. Kim Kardashian spent $150 million rebuilding a Gulfstream G650ER, named it Kim Air, and then issued a dress code for entry. The entire interior, walls, ceilings, bulkheads, is lined in custom Loro Piana cashmere, which explains both the slippers-only policy and the spray tan prohibition. Cashmere at that scale is extraordinarily delicate, and if you introduce an aerosol tan product into a pressurized cashmere environment, the cashmere suffers, and the cashmere cannot suffer. The no spray tan policy is the most expensive sentence in aviation. The world's wealthiest man built a platform specifically dedicated to free speech. He then used that platform to permanently ban a college student who was tracking his plane. Elon Musk, founder of SpaceX, CEO of Tesla, owner of X, flies a Gulfstream G800 delivered in early 2025 with a confirmed value of $80 million, a range of 8,200 nautical miles that makes it the longest-range jet on this list, and custom Starlink satellite terminals providing gigabit-speed internet at 51,000 feet. College student Jack Sweeney had been running the automated account at Elon Jet for years, tracking Musk's flights and publishing them publicly. Musk personally offered Sweeney $5,000 to shut it down, which, for a man worth somewhere between $200 and $300 billion, is the equivalent of finding a parking ticket on a Bugatti and offering the meter maid a firm handshake. Sweeney declined. In December 2022, Musk permanently banned every one of Sweeney's tracking accounts from X, the platform he had purchased months earlier for $44 billion, on the stated premise that it would be a bastion of free expression. $5,000. Then the platform. The G800 is the best jet on this list. The $5,000 offer is the best story. At some point in the summer of 2022, someone took a $73 million intercontinental business jet on a 17-minute flight from Camarillo to Van Nuys. That someone was Kylie Jenner, and the aircraft requires more time than that to reach cruising altitude. Her Global 7500 is owned through Rise and Shine Air LLC. named
Wanna
after
show
a
you guys my
viral
work?
video of Kylie singing to her daughter
Rise and
Stormy,
shine.
and arrives with bubblegum pink exterior stripes, custom KJ monogrammed leather throughout, a neon Kylie sign installed inside the cabin, Hermes throws at every seat, and a Kylie Cosmetics branded carpet underfoot. In July 2022, she posted a photo on Instagram with Travis Scott while both their jets sat on the tarmac, captioned, "You want to take mine or yours?" The flight data that emerged shortly after suggested the answer, on at least one recent occasion, had been a 40-minute drive on the 101. The internet noticed. The internet did not forgive. Definitely A tier. Over a 2-year tracked window, the personal jet fleet belonging to one of the world's most prominent climate advocates generated 8,239 metric tons of carbon emissions. That advocate is Michael Bloomberg. He has acknowledged the contradiction. He has not resolved it. C tier. Next, for Father's Day in 2012, Beyoncé bought Jay-Z a private jet. It cost $40 million. The average American Father's Day gift is a card and a new grill, but Beyoncé operates on a different scale. Jay-Z subsequently went out and bought himself a $75 million Bombardier Global 7500 anyway, which means the aircraft his wife gave him as a holiday present was apparently the starter jet, the one you fly while you're still figuring out what you actually want. The $40 million one just sits there now as the modest option in the fleet, a Father's Day gift that most people would consider the defining purchase of their lives. The Beyoncé math makes his own purchase look conservative. Before any of them, there was Howard Hughes. Hughes was an aviation billionaire, film producer, and the owner of TWA who personally modified a Lockheed Constellation in the 1940s, reworking the cabin pressure systems, the fuel configuration, and the interior layout to his own specifications, before flying it from Los Angeles to New York in 6 hours and 57 minutes, breaking the transcontinental airspeed record he had set himself. He called the Constellation the most beautiful airliner ever built, and he spent years treating it as an extension of his own identity rather than simply a vehicle. In his final decades, he barely left his aircraft at all. He ran a multi-billion-dollar business empire from the inside of private jets and hotel penthouses, conducting everything by phone, refusing to receive visitors, slowly disappearing from public life while remaining in constant motion above it. On April 5, 1976, Howard Hughes was found dead aboard a private Learjet flying from Mexico to Houston. He weighed 90 pounds. Every private jet on this list is a variation on something Howard Hughes invented. None of them have taken it quite that far. The registration code on her jet reads N540W, 1954 being her birth year, W being the first letter of her surname, embedded into a government aviation document as quietly and deliberately as a signature. Oprah Winfrey's G700 has a confirmed value of $75 million and comes with 5 living areas, a formal boardroom, and 20 panoramic oval windows. One of the first self-made black female billionaires in American history, she encoded her birth year into a government registration document. That's the move. The support yacht Bezos commissioned was so large it required a second, separate yacht to carry the water toys. His Gulfstream G700, confirmed value $80 million, is by any reasonable measure the modest choice in his portfolio. Primary destinations: Miami, Olbia, and Daytona Beach. A tier. The jet is the budget option. When Sheldon Adelson died in January 2021, he left behind a casino empire, a net worth estimated between $30 and $35 billion, and a private aviation division operating 19 aircraft. His widow, Miriam Adelson, physician, philanthropist, and now primary shareholder of Las Vegas Sands Corp., inherited all of it, including the fleet he had assembled over decades to move high rollers between Las Vegas, Macau, and Singapore. That fleet had already survived one catastrophe. The original flagship was destroyed in 2020 when a hurricane drove the walls of a hangar in Lake Charles, Louisiana, directly into the fuselage. The aircraft was damaged beyond repair, and they replaced it with the quiet efficiency of an organization that treats a destroyed 747 as an administrative inconvenience. Then the pandemic arrived. The same fleet and every aircraft built to carry VIP casino guests between marble bathroom wide bodies and gambling floors was redeployed to fly 2 million surgical masks from Guangzhou to New York at the height of the shortage. A 60-seat flying palace designed for high rollers, repurposed as emergency medical cargo. Sheldon Adelson built those jets to move money. Miriam Adelson used them to move masks. Total fleet value estimated over $300 million. One aircraft was destroyed by a storm. Several of the others, in the first weeks of a global health crisis, flew the cargo that mattered most, S-tier. The fleet is the flex. Somewhere at 51,000 feet, there is a tailcode that reads N236MJ. 23 for the jersey number, 6 for the championship rings, MJ for the initials, and an exterior painted in the elephant print pattern from the Air Jordan sneaker line, with the Jumpman logo on the tail. Nobody flying past can read any of it, but Michael Jordan knows it's there. His entire career, encoded in a civil aviation registration that cruises above the cloud line. B tier, the elephant print is a choice, a very specific choice. Mukesh Ambani already lives in a 27-story personal skyscraper in Mumbai. This is just the newest addition to his fleet. The jet is the first Boeing business jet, 737 MAX 9 ever delivered to an Indian owner, with a confirmed value of $120 million, and an interior completed by AMAC Aerospace in Switzerland that includes a private master suite and an encrypted communications room. Alongside the MAX 9, Ambani operates 6 other aircraft, bringing his total personal fleet to an estimated value of over $250 million. The MAX 9 is the newest jet in an empire that already had 6. He simply needed a more current model, A tier. Somewhere in Atlanta, there is a 330-acre private film studio with its own runway. Tyler Perry owns the studio. He also owns the jet that lands on it. The Global 7500 has a confirmed value of $75 million and was delivered brand new in November 2024. He lands at his own studio to make his own films on his own lot. The civil registration on the aircraft reads MIABU. That is not a random sequence. It stands for I'm Alisher Burkanovich Usmanov, the full name of the Uzbek-born Russian mining and metals billionaire who apparently felt that paying a reported $350 million for the largest private jet in the Russian Federation was not quite announcement enough on its own. The cabin runs to 165 feet, half a football field, with 30 VIP passengers, gold hardware throughout, and an interior valued at an estimated $100 million. EU asset freeze mandates have followed the aircraft across the continent, and European jet spotters now track its movements the way ornithologists track a rare migration, with great patience, careful notation, and a sense that they are witnessing something that will not pass this way again for some time. The largest private jet in Russia, with the owner's name written on the outside in case there was any confusion. The tailcode says everything the jet doesn't need to. In February 2022, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner departed a German shipyard in the middle of a scheduled maintenance window. The departure was unannounced, filed with no Western authority, and happened at night. 2 weeks later, Russia invaded Ukraine. The jet belongs to Roman Abramovich, steel and mining oligarch, former owner of Chelsea FC, net worth somewhere north of $9 billion, and had been rebuilt to a specification that reflects the particular concerns of a man in his position. The interior was completed by Cabinet Alberto Pinto in sycamore and Wakapu woods, with Taiping silk rugs, a private library, and a master suite with its own office at an estimated cost of $150 million against a total asset value of estimated $350 million. The aircraft was also fitted with military-grade jamming radars and ballistic protection systems, the kind of equipment you install when the threat is not turbulence. When international sanctions struck Russian assets across the US, UK, and EU in the days following the invasion, the jet was already in safe airspace. A US Department of Justice seizure warrant later identified Abramovich as the beneficial owner through a Jersey-registered shell company called Clear Skies Flights Limited, a name that, under the circumstances, reads as either deeply ironic or perfectly chosen. His secondary Gulfstream is a confirmed $60 million. Total fleet: estimated over $410 million. 2 aircraft, both under active international sanction, one already moved and one still running. The plane knew before the rest of the world did. Someone sent a cease and desist letter to the person tracking their private jet. The jet kept getting tracked. That someone is Taylor Swift, singer-songwriter, billionaire, creator of the Eras Tour, whose Falcon 7X carries the tail code N898TS, encoding 1989 TS, and her chart record into the registration, with a confirmed value of $54 million. In 2022, her flight data placed her among the top celebrity carbon emitters globally, a ranking her legal team responded to by issuing cease and desist notices to flight tracking accounts across multiple platforms. She also sold her older aircraft around the same time to simplify operations, reduce her footprint, and improve efficiency, which is one way to look at it. The trackers kept tracking, the Eras Tour flew on, she made $1 billion. Everybody lost. Someone logged up to 392 flights in a single year while simultaneously funding the world's largest private climate initiative, purchasing carbon offsets, and publicly advocating for aggressive global emissions reduction? That someone is Bill Gates, and he did it with 2 jets. Microsoft co-founder, co-chair of the Gates Foundation, and the owner of twin G65OERs registered under the initials WM for William and Melinda, a detail that now carries a certain biographical weight. Gates operates each aircraft at a confirmed value of $70 million, with interiors estimated at $10 million apiece. He also runs 2 Bombardier Challenger 350s through NetJet's fractional programs, bringing his total personal aviation footprint to estimated over $150 million. Gates has spoken publicly and at length about the contradiction between his flight volume and his climate commitments, acknowledging it directly and offering carbon offset purchases as the resolution. The jets logged 392 flights in 1 year, more than one per day, every day. The offsets keep getting purchased, the flights keep getting logged. Solid B tier. The aviation shell company through which Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison operates his Gulfstream G650 is registered under the name Wing and a Prayer, Inc., a phrase that originated as a wartime expression for landing a severely damaged aircraft and surviving against all reasonable expectation. Ellison chose this as the legal entity name for a $75 million business jet that he takes when he needs to be practical because, for most of the year, he flies a Soviet-era MiG-29 fighter jet he keeps for personal recreation. He historically owned a Sai Marchetti S211, jet trainer as well, collecting functional military aircraft the way other people of equivalent net worth might collect wine or art. The MiG stays in the hangar for weekends. The Gulfstream, with its confirmed $75 million price tag and a net worth behind it of somewhere between $201 and $203 billion, is what Ellison considers the sensible, low-key option. B tier. The shell company name is a whole personality. One of the most recognizable brands in the world is painted in blue and white on the outside of Mark Zuckerberg's private jet, while the jet itself is registered through a Wyoming trust specifically structured to make his travel movements harder for anyone to follow. The brand is on the exterior. The flight data is hidden in a shell company. His G700 carries a reported value of $80 million and is subject to annual SEC disclosure requirements. Zuckerberg is legally required to tell shareholders exactly how much money he spends keeping himself safe. Because federal securities law demands transparency on that particular line item, he still painted it blue. There is a private jet currently in operation worth an estimated $6.05 million. It seats between 8 and 10 passengers, carries a standard cabin interior valued at around $1 million, and has a maximum range of 3,000 nautical miles, less than half the range of every other aircraft featured in this video. It belongs to Sir Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group, the man who built Virgin Galactic specifically to fly billionaires to the edge of space. For longer routes, Branson flies commercial, on Virgin Atlantic, which he owns. We just watched 20 people spend a combined $2.2 billion on private aircraft so they could define themselves through what they fly in and how far it takes them. The man who built a rocket to carry them to the edge of the atmosphere travels to the airport on the airline he founded and sits in a seat like everyone else. The man built a rocket. He takes the bus.